I was gonna say something, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to Factutainment, Walking with Reviewers. We're going to try and finish up the core Walking with Dinosaurs series by reviewing Big Al,
Bigger.
Big
the,
ass.
the good Walking with Dinosaurs movie.
Yeah.
We'll get to the bad one eventually. But
I'm sorry. This was the
But,
good one.
yeah,
there's two. There's a good one and there's a terrible one.
yeah, the
Oh,
special that I remember being way longer than it actually was.
Yeah, it's only half hour long.
Yeah, it's like,
Uh,
this might as well have just been a normal episode.
yeah.
Pretty much. Like the normal episode's like maybe 25 minutes, but this is like maybe 5 minutes longer.
This was like 29 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
They had to fit in all the extra parts with the skeleton, and they had to fit in all the extra parts of Big Al sucking,
Whoa.
fucking
The
failing,
ghost
failing at life.
dinosaur.
Anyway, we've previously ranked the big episodes of the first series. And then we'll probably continue this. We might take a detour to like review some other documentaries, but we'll probably try and go through Walking Through Beasts or Walking with Monsters next.
I still say we should watch every Land Before Time film, but Beth threatened me with physical violence, so that's not happening.
I'd be down to watch the first few, but we're not doing all of them.
It's all or nothing.
They're for nothing.
Does this include watching every
No,
episode of the
these are
television
literal-
series?
Oh fuck! There's a television
Literal-
series.
Yep.
Shit.
Literal animated movies for babies with singing. I think I'd rather cut my own ears off.
The first one was not that.
Okay, I guess.
Oh yeah, the ones after that got really bad.
The first one has
like,
multiple deaths on
least-
screen.
I mean, so does this one.
And off. Actually, I'm not gonna joke about that. I'm not gonna joke about the death of Ducky's voice actress. That's fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry, I brought the mood down. How long are these Walking with Dinosaur episodes usually?
20,
Normally
minutes.
25 minutes.
an hour.
Okay, sorry, I forgot off the top of my head. So okay, I mean,
So it was about 5 minutes longer than normal, but
just like all my first dates.
Like when we get to Walking with Monsters, I think they're a full hour long. But Walking with Monsters is also only 3 episodes long.
yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, we should watch.
Well, all right. Well, half the number of episodes, it will make them twice as long.
Yeah,
We should watch River Monsters. I think that would be fun.
that would be neat.
That would be fun, but we're not going to do all of it.
There's not much to review on that though. It's mostly just be like Jeremy Wade is a badass. That's a cool fish. Like that's pretty much every episode of River Monsters.
Yeah, I think it would just probably, if we did that, it would be all right. What are like the 5 best episodes or whatever?
It is the series that legitimately ended because he ran out of giant fish to catch.
Damn. Well, I guess I just got to suit up in a weird fish suit and then spread some rumors about myself.
Hang on, let's. No, not that.
Fish Phoebe.
There you go.
But what can I say about the Ballad of Big Al? He was
Big Al fucking sucks, apparently.
This is by far my favorite of the Walking with Dinosaurs episodes.
He also apparently didn't get as big as he could have.
Yeah,
Correct?
that's the thing with Big Al.
There's your shoot.
Despite being called, and I'll pull up the actual skeleton of Big Al, but despite being called Big Al,
he's not like anywhere near the largest specimen we've got by any stretch.
Yeah, there's your fish shoot aura.
Wait, I wasn't paying attention. What is it?
In recording.
Oh, well,
You know.
I'm full screening the screen share.
So yeah, despite being one of the most complete Allosaurus specimens out on planet, which is probably why it gets its name. Like Big Al, and such a famous specimen. Big Al died when they were sexually mature juvenile.
Yeah, they're essentially in their late teens, essentially.
Yeah.
So you kids in high school, or
Whoa! Hey there.
Okay, fuck off. Like, would you like to subscribe to the Cowboy State newspaper?
No.
No.
Would you like to drop it like an earthquake?
So yeah, it's a
Big Al-
95% complete.
Isn't Big Al the name of the toy store in like Toy Story 2 or something?
Yeah, Big
I
Al's
think it
Toy
is.
Barn or something.
Big Al's Toy Barn.
Yeah. But yeah, it's called Big Al because it's an Allosaurus, fairly obviously. But yeah, it's he's not the biggest Allosaurus we know of, but he's famous because of how complete it was. And he's now a permanent resident at the Museum of the Rockies.
You know a lot of Allosauruses?
Allosaurus is one of the most numerous dinosaurs that we know of.
Name 5 Allosaurus.
There's Big Al. There's multiple European specimens, multiple species in in North America, possibly one from Africa.
Oh, there's also some Asian species.
Name 5 more.
I don't know if
Al.
there's any Asian species.
Well, that'd be considering how.
I can't believe the Allosaurus is racist.
But yeah, there's Allosaurus makes up one. I don't remember how many specimens there are, but they're in the hundreds, I believe.
There's a Big Al. There's Micro Margaret. There's Medium Marge. Anybody gonna stop me?
No.
Go on, name them all.
No, I don't think I will actually.
I guess maybe look up what their range was like, because I know Europe and North America was covered, and Africa.
So there's obviously the North American ones, and there's also some in Portugal that have been confirmed. 7 species of Allosaurus have been named: A. annex, A. amplus, A. atrox, A. europenensis, A. fragilis, A. germancini, and A. lucasi.
About AA Ron.
Currently, there are 3 considered truly valid, being A. fragilis, A. europris, and A. germancini.
All Allosauruses are valid, thank you.
There's also Saurophaganax, which technically doesn't exist, and is likely a mix between some particularly large Allosaurus, and then just a couple sauropods that got thrown in.
Something to look right here.
Yeah, because that was the thing with like Saurophaganax is just it's like this bone was found next to some Allosaurus remains, but it's clearly bigger than any Allosaurus bones we ever know. So therefore, it's a new species of theropod. This bone's from a sauropod. That's why it's probably significantly larger than the other Allosaurus. Because it's not an Allosaurus.
Early
Just
paleontology.
have a big fucked up lick.
It'd be kind of like equivalent to you found a bison bone in with a wolf, like some wolf skeletons,
awesome.
and you're like, this wolf was several tons in weight and massive, and it's like, are you sure this is a wolf?
Transmogrifying Native American.
I'm trying to remember some other stuff. Initially, Allosaurus was named Labrosaurus, but that was considered a nomen dubium, and so it
What is
eventually.
that?
So nomen dubium is a name that's kind of shaky. It's like, is
That's
this?
when a gnome
Is this
likes
its
up a
own
doobie.
species? Is this its own species?
It's also very
When a gnome
common
lights
with
up a doobie.
like. It's also very common when like the nomen dubium is based off of like undiagnostic remains, which is like remains that are just kind of like they don't really have any distinguishing characteristics. So you're like, this is a bone of something. I'm not quite sure what it is. I'm gonna name it something, and don't do that because that if it doesn't look like really distinct or have any like features that like
Are diagnosed.
is diagnostic is characteristic of the creature, and you just name it, cool. That means that unless something finds like a complete skeleton that includes that one bone you named it off of, then no other material can actually be confidently assigned to
That
your
species.
specimen. Yeah. Looking at you, Troodon.
I keep trying to think of a way to phrase to make a joke about the giant air quotes Gulf of America out of that.
That's its own whole thing because technically the Gulf of Mexico has had many names over the several hundred years of just the it dates
Colonialism.
back, yeah, because like the French called it something different than the Spanish, but yeah, no, Gulf of America is fucking stupid.
Well, I'm genuinely still to this day sad that Saurophaganax wasn't like a real thing and was just an Allosaurus. Just because Saurophaganax is such a cool name.
Because of the middle word.
Sure.
But anyway, different remains attentively assigned to Allosaurus have also been found in. They've been found in Europe. They've been found in North America, Tanzania, Africa, as well as Siberia and
And China.
Australia. And Australia. Or
Could swim.
China
apparently
and Siberia as well,
in
apparently.
Japan as well.
Okay, so they did go into Asia then, I guess.
It should be noted that the China, the Japan, the Siberia, and the Tanzanian have all been kind of now redescribed as probably different things.
Yeah.
Same thing with Australia. Like we previously talked about the polar allosaur that's now almost certainly Australopithecus or maybe an abelosaur. The China one is likely to be Torvosaurus or another relative. The Siberian ones cannot be confidently assigned to an actual Allosaurus. They're just Allosaurus-like. The Tanzania ones may have been either Carcharodontosaurian or they could have been a Ceratosaurus.
Yeah, now this is where I need to like brush up on my taxonomy because I don't remember exactly how close Carcharodontosaurians are to Allosaurus.
Allosaurus family tree. Please load. So you have the other kind of groups of dinosaurs breaking out. This is all in the same general tree. We have Allosaurus, and then a sister group of the Neovenators, and then you have sort of the more Carcharodontosaurus, although
Okay,
these are the
so
true Carcharodontosaurians, but you have Acranthosaurus, Pteranodon, Neovenator, Allosaurus.
okay, so they are sister clades. Oh,
Yeah.
fair enough.
They're like a descendant, but they're like great uncle.
Yeah.
Because here's
Even though I actually don't know if any allosaurids survived into the Cretaceous. I don't actually know that off the top of my head. You might be able to confirm that for me.
Alright, so we got.
Yeah, that's right. Or I was just looking something up because I remember seeing this. You remember do you know the monster Gorosaurus from Godzilla? Or Toho, at least.
Yeah.
I believe. Oh yes.
That was it. Was in the I think in one of the movies it was described as being a relative of Allosaurus, or directly descendant of a direct descendant of Allosaurus.
Yeah. Well, actually, it looks like, at least based on this one, that they are actually quite closely related, at least compared to, say, like Tyrannosaurids.
Yeah, this is the Allosaurus branch firmly, and this is the Morchocarodontosaurus branch. So they're pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close compared to, as I said, like Tyrannosaurids or Ceratosaurids.
Yeah.
For example.
The Ceratosaurids are over here.
Yeah.
And that's another thing of like, you'll see further when we're watching more documentaries, and granted, it doesn't show up in this episode. All this stuff is like, Ceratosaurus died because it was a failure and left no descendants. And it's like, bitch, the Carnotaurs made it to the end of the Cretaceous, further than Allosaurus descendants did. Like, I don't know what this is fucking talking about. Anyway. You see that a lot. And to me, it's like baffling because it's like you'll see things be like, oh yeah, and more like ape centric stuff. They'll be like, and then the apes and the monkeys were successful. The lemurs failed and sucked ass. And it's like, then why
They're
do
still
lemurs
around.
still exist? Like,
yeah, because I think most Allosaurids didn't make it through the early Cretaceous. I don't believe.
it's like they're not an evolutionary dead end if they're still around.
Yeah, which is actually kind of like tangential. People are like, oh, the dinosaurs died out. I'm like, not really. They're still among us. They just birds.
They're rare, Avery.
It's like you'll see that on occasion where people, well, some stuff will be like, and then the amphibians evolved into the reptiles because the reptiles were better suited to land, and the amphibians kind of fell to the wayside and became duds. And it's like, frogs exist. Like, what are you talking about, right?
They just adapted to different ecological niches. That's it.
See, what the actual hell are you talking about?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
If we're going off of ecological niches based off, like, do you have any living descendants, then that means fucking every dinosaur that isn't a bird sucks ass. Like,
yeah.
Anyway.
Just that they couldn't survive an asteroid impact. Skill issue.
I would have teched that shit.
Because that was one thing, like, they mentioned in, like, this one, New Blood, where it was the Triassic, and they were mentioning how, like, oh, the dinosaurs are the new winners. They're like the success stories, and like the pseudosaukians and like the crocodilomorphs. They faded out because they weren't able to compete, and it's like, But crocodiles are still around.
Crocodiles are still around, and synapsids are still around.
Crocodiles
And
are still chucking, motherfucker. Like, what the hell?
and you know how you know how I know that synapsids are still around? Because I am a synapsid.
Yeah.
I was a dinosaur the whole time.
Damn rip to you, but I'm not.
So yeah, Pososuchus went extinct, but its relative that decided to go swimming is still around.
Yeah, and the big synapses went extinct, but the little ones that decided to, dig around in the dirt, they did fine.
And then when they stopped being giant reptiles, they went back to being big.
Yeah.
Well, some of them did. Anyway, we've been rambling.
We always ramble. That's all we do with these videos.
Anyway, so let's critique. They only add a few actually new creatures in this episode because most of them we've already seen. So it was like we've already seen Dryosaurus, we've seen Ornitholestes, we saw
seen
Stegosaurus,
Washersaurus.
Brachiosaurus.
We've already seen
Diplodocus. They did add, because this wasn't in Time of Titans, Apatosaurus. And it is very similar design to the Diplodocus, but is distinct. They did give it a larger head, a shorter neck, none of the spines on the back. So, Apatosaurus.
Huh. That makes sense.
I did not. What?
What the fuck?
I guess that's what I'm getting it.
Yeah.
So they gave it a shorter neck, and proportionally larger head than the Diplodocus.
And the Apatosaurus was the dinosaur on the salt flats, right, in the herd?
No, the Diplodocus was.
Okay. The Apatosaurus was like early in the forest when I was a bit smaller.
The way they were walking with their heads down and their asses up and their tails waving around, is that normal? That accurate?
So we previously we talked about this. So in this episode, in the series in general, there's the if you're not a titanosaur or a brachiosaur, like sauropod, they're typically portray them as being either completely horizontal or kind of like tilted head down, ass up.
Yeah, that's just the way they like to fuck.
That is based off of some studies at the time that showed strong evidence for, and I'll try and do this. That's a good example. So there was, I guess it's really tiny. Never mind. Look at it.
Really tiny, just like my dick. I'm kidding.
I'm hot as fuck and my meat is reasonable.
So this was done off of some phylogenetic studies that showcase that by a biomechanical metric on the skeleton, the necks and heads would have been best suited to just being horizontal, and that holding them any more up for long periods of time would put undue strain on the bones. However, more recent studies have also been have pointed out problems with these original studies, which were done in, I think, late 80s, early 90s, that they didn't factor in any of the muscles or ligaments. And so, when you're just doing just the bones, they're going to rub up against each other, they're going to break. But if you have flesh and sinew between them, then there's much more of a padding and there's much more of a bending and a flexing able to occur. So while they were perfectly capable of holding their heads in this position, something more like a neutral state like this may have been more accurate.
Like how this artist even captures the like floppy tail ends that they always depict in these shows.
Yeah, good job, Truffle.
That's another thing we've talked about. The tails are very, very, very flexible in the series, which isn't necessarily completely wrong. We do know that they were pretty flexible tails and that were most certainly used to defend the animals. They're shown possibly more whip-like than they maybe would have been, because there was again, biomechanical analysis of the tails of like diplodocene style sauropods that showed that they would have been able to crack them like a bullwhip. However, it was also shown in the same studies that if the animal were to crack it with the full force of a bullwhip, it would break the end of the tail.
Yeah.
Still
It's
probably
sort of like,
they'll likely give some good licks, like the tail of the modern iguana, but not quite a whip.
It's sort of like, technically speaking, you have the full capability to lift a car. Like, in doing so, biomechanically speaking, you would tear multiple muscles and probably crack some bones.
Yeah, but this is why you hear like all the stories of mothers lifting cars off their children.
Like, yeah, you.
I mean, they lift it up a little. They're not picking the car up like they're Superman.
Yes, but that is still a feat of strength way beyond what their body would normally allow them to do.
Like, I remember reading it was a mechanical analysis that if you could suppress the like hormones and regulators in your body that prevent you from running at top speed for a very long time, you could absolutely run you could run Usain Bolt speeds for like I think it's like 15-30 minutes. Your heart would probably stop.
Yeah, you could, but you can simulate this, and you turn off your pain inhibitors by doing bath salts.
Yeah.
I do love me some bath salts.
It's why when people get on drugs, they can do stuff like be hit by a car and walk away even with a clearly broken bone.
Like a fucking deer.
Exactly.
Yeah, because the thing is you only really have access to about 50% of your like muscle fibers at any time. Normally, under like normal bodily operation. So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So, Diplodocus. So, yeah. Generally, because of Walking with Dinosaurs, there's a lot of depictions of Diplodocus being pretty horizontally built. But they would more than likely be able to raise their head to something like this.
Raise your head, King. Your crown's slipping off.
Now, are they Brachiosaurus levels where it's straight vertical? No, because it's
90 degrees.
It's not straight vertical, but yeah, it's
close enough.
No, but that's also because Brachiosaurus just torso is built like a giraffe to support it going up like that.
Yeah, they're just built different, like quite literally.
Anyway, back to Apatosaurus. Apatosaurus. Failure. All right. So, as depicted in this is just another image of Diplodocus. So, as depicted in Walking with Dinosaurs, They have a fairly stout, shorter neck, and I think this is mostly to differentiate them from Diplodocus in the series.
Right.
In life, Apatosaurus did have a shorter neck than Diplodocus, but it was still a fairly long neck.
Yeah, just a visual choice, just to distinguish.
And they did have a larger skull in proportion to their bodies than Diplodocus did. The skull itself is not terrible from what we're able to see. Is it the greatest thing in the world? No, but is it terrible? No.
Especially by the standards of the time.
Yes.
And here's another thing. So it's been proposed in more recent papers
Why the
that
fuck its nose like that?
apatosaurines, such as Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus, may have had some kind of spikes along the neck. And this is because...
That's fucking awesome.
Saurus skeleton neck. And this is largely due to, on the skeletons of Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus, their necks are kind of uniquely robust, especially on the bottom of their neck vertebrae, where they have some of these more stoutly recurved projections. And likely this would have still, because it's a neck, it still would have been fleshy and supported numerous muscles and ligaments. But there's been some hypothesis that because they seem uniquely adapted to dealing with strain, that they may have used their necks. Can y'all hear me still?
Yep.
Yeah.
They may have used their necks
Similar to modern day
giraffes.
Yeah.
Giraffes fighting.
Just imagine having a neck you use as a chain whip.
Pretty much.
I mean, isn't that just giraffe? Oh, we're talking about giraffes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Giraffe fighting's so fucking awesome.
Thing is, it looks really silly, but it is genuinely really brutal.
Yeah.
Play some Devo. When you're out here in the club, you must whip it.
Alternatively, it's also been proposed that they may have done something similar to elephant seals, where instead of necessarily...
Fake looking recording.
Okay. Oh. Executor. Anyway. Instead of necessarily whipping their heads and colliding with their skulls like giraffes do, they may have shoved against each other like elephant seals, while also trying to bite each other, maybe. And so the hypothesis with that is that if that is the case, then developing sort of like these keratinous spines or bosses along the neck would have benefited the animals when they fought each other.
While also probably having the bonus effect of fighting off predators, no doubt.
Yeah. It should be noted that typically, if you're a prey animal, you don't want to fight your predator using your neck. But then again...
But yeah, probably, but if you can't run...
But
better
then
to have an
again,
option
you
than
can
not.
make the argument that, like, you also probably
Better to
shouldn't...
have fought.
I was going to say, you also probably shouldn't attack something with your head and then look at bovines.
Yeah. So...
And some people say that you shouldn't attack a pregnant belly, but look what... I don't know what I was going to say, actually.
Country dinos make do.
Hang on, this is my... I blacked out for a second because I got an erection when Dora brought that up.
So here's another version of interpretation where instead of it being like external, they're just sort of like these armored bumps underneath the
There
skin.
we go. Yeah. It's better to fight than die than to live with the knowledge that you ran.
Disrespect your surroundings.
This fat fuck. Why is it? It looks like its neck is concave.
I mean,
That's
if
sort of like what I point out with the skeleton, how
Yeah.
it does have sort of that concavity. Now, did it actually have a concavity? Probably not. There's probably some flesh there as well.
It looks like a. It looks like the underside of a snail or something.
or a snake, perhaps.
Damn, just like all my first aids.
Here's another version of the fighting that may have happened.
Okay, those just look like nipples. No, get this image off the screen. We're gonna get demonetized.
They look like fucked up, like
I was
those
gonna
fucked
say
up
centipedes.
caterpillars.
Like how the
No,
centipedes have
no,
those.
not the nipple-feeted centipedes.
Okay, you say that. I've seen that exact image online. You people are fucking weird.
Or like something like this.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, in terms of the accuracy of this design in particular, which sucks that we can't get much better pictures of it than this.
That looks like a blob.
Other than the neck being kind of too short and the head maybe being a bit oversized, it's fairly good.
Especially for the time.
Could you have added some more of this speculative armament? Sure.
But I'm
Give it
not
a
even
gun.
sure if that was even in the conversation in the 90s.
Yeah.
Give it a turret.
I have seen Apatosaurus skulls described as weird horse.
It's most dinosaurs.
Which, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of see it.
It's like horse meets tortoise minus beak.
Tortoise.
Like,
A torse, if you would.
excuse me.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about these dinosaurs except they look silly.
Anyway, where do we want to rank Apatosaurus?
I think we could go pretty
It
high.
sounded decent. I don't remember what the rankings are.
Like an A or a B.
I think A is fine.
So currently in S tier, we have Diplodocus, Ophthalmosaurus, Tapagera, and Torosaurus. And here we got Brachiosaurus, Posuchus, Stegosaurus. I think that's Eustreptospondylus.
Oh, you stripped and thonylus.
Yeah, I think A is a good spot.
Yeah.
All right. Do A for Apatosaurus.
I am a Patosaurus.
It's always been like, it's not necessarily my favorite sauropod, but it's always been, yeah, this is quintessentially a cool sauropod. Like, it's a giant animal that, if alive today, would by far and away be the largest animal alive that can walk. Like,
Because sauropods
Next
killed
to
my
your
grandma,
mom.
okay? Jesus Christ.
like, was it the largest animal in its environment? No, but that's because Brachiosaurus is crazy. Like,
Yeah, like
Cracked.
reaching scales of size that are just ridiculous.
like Stegosaurus is bigger than an elephant. Stegosaurus, compared to Apatosaurus, is sort of like comparing a wildebeest to a rhino. And then Apatosaurus to Brachiosaurus is a rhino to an elephant. Like, these are orders of magnitude bigger than anything alive today.
Well, anything on land, at the very least.
It's sort of like I guess, to Americans, it'd be like, yeah, Apatosaurus is perfectly fine. They're a good student. They're getting A's and B's, but their brother is Einstein. Like, they're constantly being compared to someone they cannot compete with.
My dad. That's who's.
Dad.
Yeah.
My
Like,
dad.
it's to the point where I don't think there is enough biomass currently on the planet to support Brachiosaurus as a species if it was somehow brought back.
I think it would have to be one of those species that are like very low numbers.
Or we could
I
shrink them
believe
down.
it could. They probably could exist in very specific locations. If that makes any sense.
Or when we clone them, we can clone them to be smaller.
Like if you put a couple of these guys in like the Amazon, sure. You put them in England, no.
Yeah,
I
put
don't
them in
know.
London. It'll be funny.
Yeah. Nobody that we care about.
Oh, London, to be fair, is actually the greenest city in the world, somehow.
What?
Yeah, I mean, with how the River Thames looks, I assume it's the greenest city in the world.
Yeah, the River Thames. That's right.
Thames.
Is that not what it's called?
It's the
Thames. Like Undertale.
Oh, shit.
But yeah,
the joke landed, right?
Just by land area of like the city limits, London is the greenest city in the world.
I was going to say how much of that green includes Scotland.
None of it.
What do you got against the Scots, Avery?
Nothing. I have a family tartan, so very little against the Scots.
Do you know what
Brothers and sisters are natural enemies, like Scots and other Scots. Damn Scots! They ruined Scotland!
Bless you.
Do Irish people have tartans?
Some do, I believe.
Because my dad always brags about the fucking Moran like coat of arms, but I want to know if we have a tartan.
About a coat of legs.
The use of the tartan in Ireland is fairly recent.
Okay, so it's a thing that is happening now, but they don't really have any like history of it.
Oh, lame.
It's a thing I guess they started doing.
To
try and like do a similar.
Probably just a unity reasons, because Scotland and Ireland have always been pretty united by the hatred of the English, which is fair enough.
I did look it up.
The common uniter of the
traditional
world.
Irish families and traditional Irish counties that, like Scotland, that you could make, and then they do make tartans based off of, but like there isn't the tradition of doing it for this long period of time.
Apparently, the Morans do have a tartan. Its pattern is forest green and black with bright gold, red, and royal blue accents.
Okay, next up is the titular feature creature of the episode, Big Al. As we mentioned,
isn't Allosaurus already on the?
Yes, this is a redesign though.
Fair enough.
Because you have
bigger Allosaurus.
Big Al.
Yeah, Big Al is different from.
Because they restructured the skull a bit, did the horns a bit differently, the arms a bit differently.
They did what?
Okay.
They made the Allosaurus woke.
They elongated the skull.
Now it's Gallosaurus.
They elongated the skull.
Big Alberta.
Okay, sorry. Chris, keep talking about Big Al. I'm sorry.
Okay. So yeah, they altered the design because, well, Big Al is the feature creature of the episode instead of just like the antagonist. They added some more like striping, a different color pattern, gave it some cool coloration on the crests. Overall, this is a design that like is pretty good. The puppet's pretty amazing, as you can see.
When is Jurassic World Evolution going to add the Big Al skin for the Allosauruses?
Big Al mod for Jurassic World Evolution.
That is a thing. Like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Like right here, there's literally a Big Al mod for the Allosaurus in Jurassic World Evolution.
Somebody in another server posted bird noises, and this is the first time I've ever seen a loon make the noise that loons make. I usually just hear this as a stock noise.
So in general, I think this is probably now the original Allosaurus design wasn't bad. It's in B tier for a reason. I think this is just a straight improvement.
Yeah,
So probably
at
an A.
least A.
Probably an A because
I want to say S tier, honestly.
I wouldn't be
well,
against.
yeah, but like it's a
Like,
design, but like the show goes on to exemplify how much Big Al just sucks.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
But
How
we're
much
ranking.
We're rating the design.
No
Yeah.
bitches.
We're not ranking Big Al himself.
what the?
Yeah, we haven't actually talked much about the episode yet because.
Well, I was gonna save that for when we're ranking the episode as a whole.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah,
I kind of agree with.
We'll throw this in S tier or A tier.
I kind of want to put him lower. I agree with Beth. Big Al kind of sucks shit.
S.
Okay, fine, S tier. You fucking heathens.
I was gonna say this isn't just Al himself. It was also like his mom. It was also the various other Allosaurus shown.
Okay, S tier's fine. But me and Beth will continue to bitch about how much Big Al sucks shit.
All right, now go ahead. Talk about how Big Al sucks.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. It was like as a baby, he got drooled on by his mom, so everything was shit right out the gate.
Yeah.
Let's see, he couldn't catch any bugs because he sucked. He had to settle on eating tiny lizards. He couldn't get. He fumbled the BBW Allosaurus. And then he crossed the desert, got his ass kicked, and then he fucking died in a riverbed like a bitch.
Yeah. Like Edgar Allan Poe.
That isn't exactly what happened, but so the episode special follows the life of Big Al, and Big Al is notable for being one of the most complete Allosaurus specimens known, but also having numerous injuries. So this is the life of Al in life dealt with a very harsh existence. And I did think
go fuck yourself.
I did think that's actually while you guys may consider that a negative, I think it is interesting to depict how this is how Al may have broken his leg. This is how Al may have broken his arm. This is how Al may have gotten this infection or this happened or this happened. And I do think that's a neat narrative to go off of like explaining how this creature or like how this being got all of its scars.
He was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every morning he broke his arms, and every night he broke his legs.
Anyway, do I think they probably could have shown Al winning some too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe have him fuck. I don't like
fuck on screen.
Show him kill a dinosaur successfully.
He killed a lizard. Those are like dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, I think like it shows him like he gets like bucked by the dying Diplodocus and like thrown across the salt flat a little bit and like breaks a couple ribs. Maybe have him he goes up, does a killing bite on it, and then gets kicked off as the creature's like falling over. And so it's like, okay, so you win some, you lose some. He did win out in a couple instances, I guess, because he saw the other two Allosaurus dying at the Stegosaurus corpse and was like, "How about I don't walk into that?"
And who knows? Maybe he didn't fumble. Maybe that was the only BBW that he fumbled. Maybe
At the end of the
Didn't talk about his kids, so
towards the
he
end of
clearly
the
didn't fuck.
episode, towards the end of the episode, he breaks his leg hunting some Dryosaurus because a tree falls
Oh
over,
yeah,
and then he trips over it and breaks his leg.
he like runs at them and trips and fucks up his leg.
Okay then, I'll be right back.
we were just talking about BBWs.
So yeah, Big Al is shown hunting Dryosaurus like twice and failing both hunts. I think it would have probably been better dynamic of if he's shown hunting Dryosaurus and like the first two times he's successful and the third one is when he fucking breaks his foot. Like,
Yeah, that's fair. Like I do like now that I think about it a little bit. Yeah, but they did show Big Al sucking shit a little too much. Like come on, like
Aside,
people-
also the time where he was literally sucking shit.
Oh fuck, I forgot about
to be
Yeah,
fair,
there's just a part where he
that is
sniffs poop and he's like, "Oh, a female Allosaurus is nearby. Hell yeah!"
to be fair, that is a thing that does happen in nature all the time. That's like it's called scent marking, and creatures find each other by smelling their urine or droppings or etc. That is very common in nature.
Do I want to say like all my first dates? I don't think I want to.
You already did.
No, I was contemplating it, Richard.
Saying it out loud is still saying it.
No, I said, should I say this?
And in doing so, you
Then you said it.
What the fuck ever?
Should I contemplate murdering this person? And in saying it out loud, you are therefore contemplating.
Y'all are just haters. Why am I the Big Al in this situation? Why are y'all treating me like Big Al?
Anyway,
I don't fumble the BBWs.
Yeah, because you don't go off.
Well, yeah, because you always fuck Van. You established this.
That I don't fumble the. Hang on, I'm trying to think of the acronym.
BBM. BBW stands for Big Beautiful Women.
No, shit,
You know this.
I thought it was Bacon Wabambus.
Are you serious?
Anyway, what Big Al?
Are you serious?
No, I'm not serious. I don't
Hey, good.
BBW stands for Big.
God, imagine. I can't possibly imagine what Aura's family is imagining hearing him screeching this from the other room.
I gotta mute my. You guys keep going.
Okay, next.
We're just talking about Big Al. Avery, your thoughts on the episode as a whole?
Oh, absolutely. This is my favorite episode in the series. So for me, that'd be a straight S tier. I agree with you that I very much like that we're kind of going through and just showing the life of this creature as best we can piece together.
Yeah, I guess it was more neat than some of the other ones, especially when they had like the skeleton at the beginning with the ghost of the dinosaur looking at its own skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say. Sorry, I'm back now. I have calmed down. I will say that the beginning of this episode does hit like is pretty awesome. Like like the skeleton, like the ghost looking at the skeleton and all that. And I will say that this episode does in fact feature Big Al a whole lot, as compared to certain other episodes in the Walking with Dinosaurs series. Where what was the one that's supposed to take place in the sky, and then
The big flying dinosaur.
Yeah.
He
Giant
flew all that
sky.
distance and didn't fuck. Didn't score any bitches.
Didn't score any bitches, yeah. Anyway.
Oh yeah, I was going to point out one other thing. So these were the Thescalosaurus in the one with the T Rex, the Death of a Dynasty,
Mhm.
and they're also the exact same model for the Othnielia in Ballad of Big Al. Do we want
Oh.
to move it up or anything, or move it down? What do you
Um.
think?
Which one was it again?
These blue head guys.
No,
I think.
that's fine.
Yeah, I think they're fine where they are.
They're showing this episode to like kind of just hang out with the Stegosaurus.
Anyway, so I know I was making like haha funny jokes earlier with Beth about like big beautiful women and all that jazz and Big Al getting no bitches. I do think this episode was definitely super interesting. I think it was interesting choice to focus the special on just a single dinosaur and the life of him. And as Chris was saying, I do think Big Al should have gotten a couple more wins instead of just sucking mad shit his whole life. You know what I mean?
Like he
Like
does get a couple wins, and that's kind like he doesn't die in a sinkhole trap like the other Allosaurus.
yeah, but Homie was just eating dead bodies the whole time.
He
Like,
kills it.
I mean, yes, so do I.
His one on-screen kill is a pterosaur.
I mean,
Oh yeah, you like grabbed it and threw it smacked it on the ground,
I
and
mean,
then ate it.
he helps kill a Diplodocus, which is cool. That's one of the
but then
best,
he doesn't.
That's probably one of the best things, like sequences in the entire series.
But then he doesn't get any any meat.
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he gets like a chunk of it and drags it away while dragging it on the ground like an idiot.
Yeah, those are my opinions. I thought it was pretty good.
Like this salt flat scene is very iconic for a reason.
Salt Flat Saturday.
Flat Fuck Friday, you fucking losers.
It's Wednesday.
That's how I like to call it, Friday.
Time does not mean anything anymore.
Buenos Juvis.
Anyway, we want to rank Big Al as a whole.
I'm cool with
You were
it.
saying S already.
Yeah. I'm fine with this.
Goodness.
All right. First S.
Anything to get my family back to me sooner.
Well, mostly because it just does kind of clear the rest of the episodes, really.
Yeah, I think really the only ones that kind of compare to it are Time of Titans and New Blood.
Yeah, which we both got in A, so.
At least so far. There's some other episodes that are coming that are pretty solid as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, bye.